The way that you do it, I will be fucking angry and I will not be at peace. I do not want to feel the perfection of this moment. I do not want to accept love's presence right now. I only want you to change because you are wrong. You are wrong and you did me wrong. I'm gonna project wrongness and enemy onto you. You are bad. I'm gonna forget what is actually happening right now. I'm going to completely disconnect from the truth that you and I are one, and that actually everything that's happening right now is innocent. And instead, I'm gonna make up a story that you are an enemy and you are bad, and I'm gonna continue a drama because I get off on it. I like it. I do not want to be in peace. I want to be in this drama. I like being a victim and I like making you the perpetrator. So fuck you and you better fucking change. You better fucking change. And I'm a victim. I'm a victim. Feel sorry for me. I am disempowered. Instead of owning that I'm actually playing out a story, instead of owning that I'm actually afraid of surrendering and softening and completely melting into this love that is right here, right now, I'm going to continue this drama story because I get off on it. I like it. I fucking like it. Power. The true fucking power. The true power that comes when we stop doing this. What is this? Look at this. What do you feel like when you see this? You. It's you. You are the problem, and until you change, until you get your punishment, until you are made wrong and I am made right, until you are made the perpetrator and I am made into the victim, I will not be at peace. You. And then if it's not you, it's someone else, it's something else. And all of you need to agree with me. When this pointing of the finger becomes this, when the fingers turn back to myself, when we start taking our fingers that are pointing outwards into somewhere in the world and bring them back, pointing right here, we have to begin the inward journey of self-inquiry, self-reflection, self-awareness, self-responsibility, taking ownership. We have to begin to look at how we are a co-creator and just as much responsible for how our life unfolds. We are not victims. We are empowered creators. And we can actually be really brutally honest and be in truth and what's real if we turn around and stop pointing the fingers at others. Because until we stop doing that, we're always going to be in that story and that projection. We're always going to be holding on to that story of good, bad, right, wrong. And this might sound very, very, very harsh, and not everybody will resonate or agree with this perspective. But me, truthfully, I feel like there's nothing greater than the moment when we see that there is no point of trying to change anything in the world. And there is no point of making an enemy in the world. Because when we make an enemy and project an enemy in the world, we're actually being an enemy with ourselves. If we are able to project blame or wrongness onto someone, it means that some part of us feels that we are wrong and that we are to blame. Stop wasting time pointing the fingers and only be here. Take accountability, hold yourself accountable. See that you are actually the problem. I am the problem. I am the problem. The thoughts that I think, the thoughts that I identify with, the stories that I choose to run, that which I choose to identify with, this is what is the problem, not what any human does or doesn't do. My husband is not the problem. The man that raped me when I was 16 is not the fucking problem. And the multiple men that assaulted me, abused this physical form, are not the fucking problem. Not at all. This might be very controversial and very not popular opinion here, but truthfully, oftentimes, you know, these experiences that I have lived have been experiences that have helped me to become more truly empowered and to bring my power back and to recognize, actually, I was a fucking co-creator in that. I did not like myself. I did not respect myself. I was treating this temple like shit. And so the abuse and the assault or the rape was just a reflection of that. It was a reflection of my own low self-worth, of my own feeling that I am not good enough and I don't deserve any love from the masculine, obviously. That was my own belief that I held. And so it's not necessarily that they are wrong for doing what they did. It's that I was holding these specific types of energies and frequencies within me. And that's how I co-created something like that to happen. I'm not just a victim of that. I am responsible as well for that. And I'm knowing and I'm aware right now that this is not maybe a popular opinion because we live in a world that loves this. What am I drawing? It's a fucking triangle. It's a triangle. It's a drama triangle. Victim, perpetrator, rescuer. Humans like to live in this triangle and like to get off on being in this triangle. Victim. People love to be a victim or to feel sad and sorry for the victim and be on the victim's side and then make wrong the perpetrator. So people like being in the rescuer as well. Me personally, I don't want to be in any of that. I would rather be in the more empowered versions of all of these states. The only way to be truly free and to empower yourself is to go within. It's to say fuck you to the world. It's to say I don't give a fuck about the world anymore. I don't need anything in the world to look differently, be differently. I'm realizing and taking ownership and actually accepting that the world is a reflection of my own internal world. And when I change myself, the world changes. So I need to take radical responsibility. And you know, most people, they don't want to change. They don't want to change. They do not want to change because they have so strongly identified with this part of themselves, believing it is them. And if this part does not get to stay, then there is a fear of a death. Ego is afraid of dying, so it will do everything it can to continue enforcing this identity. Now, it is very controversial, and I don't feel like it is a popular opinion to say this, but I was a part, and I was responsible for the assault that was placed upon this form, and I am not a victim of that assault. I was a co-creator in it. And I see the innocence almost in these acts. It is ignorance. It is a lack of connection to who we truly are. It's a lack of connection to our true nature. Me and these men that got together, and you know, the harm that we, you know, did onto each other, because the truth is that we were both humans that were ignorant, not in alignment with who we are, lost, and not knowing how to connect to these places inside us that were hurting. And so I see the innocence, and I have completely forgiven. I've forgiven not from a place of you did something wrong and I forgive you, but more because I've seen what's really happening. I've seen that there isn't actually a thing such as right and wrong, good or bad. The only thing I've seen is that, like, the only thing that's come for me in this experiences of dealing and healing these experiences from the past has been compassion and true, genuine forgiveness, and honestly, only a lot of love. So when I see these men again now, when I've seen them on the streets where I used to live, I only feel love and compassion because I recognize the hurt, the disconnection that we were both in order to make that happen. And I've cried and fallen to my knees in feeling this true love of seeing what is really true and real versus holding the image of an enemy on this person for the rest of my life, or wanting to persecute them and destroy them. Because if I'm in that place of wanting to completely judge them and project evil onto them and that they're a bad person, I'm not really actually being in truth. I'm not being in what's real. And someone might say, well, it's important that we, hold people accountable of the wrongs that they do, right? And yes, that is. But a great way to hold someone accountable is to stay in the vibration of love and to empower ourselves and to go into the looking in the places inside us where we need to correct the errors, to check out our beliefs. Like, if you want someone to be held accountable, just understand that already they're going through enough suffering as it is because of their lack of connection to the spirit, to the source of who they are. That's the only way that someone can cause harm to another form. It's because they're so deeply disconnected from love, from the truth of who we are. And so I speak this right now because I sometimes see that there's so much in the world, so much pointing fingers, so much, when the only thing I feel is needed to be done right now, in this moment, you are the fucking problem, is just drop the pointing of the fingers, turn yourself around of looking at other forms and other objects in the world, and go within here and be willing to face it. Be willing to be stripped naked. Have the courage to die to that identity that wants to hold on to being a victim. It might get messy, it will fucking get messy. That's okay. What else are we here for? Alright, end of my controversial maybe. I don't even know if it's controversial, but I just have to spit this out right now. You know, guys, when I make videos, I don't know what I'm saying. Like, I don't know what the fuck, how I'm gonna portray it or what I'm gonna, like, say, but this was just something that needed to come out today. So, thank you for watching. Let me know if you have any comments. Bye.